Welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to talk about Chinese scientists. As a country with a history of more than 5,000 years, and as the only surviving Asian country, China has brought up numerous great scholars, writers, artists, inventors, and scientists, etc., who made great contributions to the development and flourishment of China and the world. Any attempt to summarize great Chinese scientists within just one lecture would be in vain. We will just choose some to introduce here. Do you know what are these and who deserve the honor of inventing, discovering, or writing them? We are going to discuss these and the scientists behind them. The first one to talk about is Li Bing. Li Bing was the governor of Shu Prefecture in the Qing dynasty from 256 to 251 BC, but he was more remembered by people after his time as a hydraulic engineer who, together with his son, designed and led the construction of the world-known Dujiangyan irrigation scheme. It is the first water project in the world that has been listed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Located in the middle reach of the Minjiang River, the headwork of the Dujiangyan irrigation scheme comprises three major parts: Dujiang Yuzui, fish mouth, which is a diversion dam, dividing the Minjiang River into two rivers, the outer river and the inner river; Feishayan, which is a spillway to remove excess water and sand from the inner river to the outer river during floods; and Baopingkou, which is the intake of the irrigation system. This scheme has been working ever since its construction, controlling floods, irrigating the fields of Chengdu Plain, and thus changing Chengdu Plain from an often flooded place to the land of abundance. At the present time, Dujiangyan controls 2,320,000 hectares of land and has a total irrigation area of 673,333 hectares. This scheme has the multiple functions of providing irrigation, rural water supply, flood control, aquatic products, environmental protection, tourism, and hydropower. It sets a perfect example of the harmonious coexistence of human being and nature. Although it is over 2,270 years old, it still contributes greatly to the social, economic, environmental, and ecological welfare of Sichuan province. Therefore, Li Bing has always been widely honored and commemorated. That's all about Li Bing. Now let's move on to the next one. Do you know 3.141592653589792? This is a number we all tried really hard to remember when we were in middle school. Yes, this is pi. In the long history of the study of the exact value of pi, Chinese mathematicians have demonstrated their talents and played a key part. One of them is Zu Chongzhi. Zu was born in a family with a tradition of scholarship and scientific research and lived from 409 to 500 AD, during the northern and southern dynasties of China. He was first of all a great mathematician. He calculated the value of pi as somewhere between 3.1415926 and 3.1415927, which was at the time the most accurate in the world. It would not be until the 15th and 16th centuries that Islamic and French mathematicians would produce a more accurate one. Zu also identified two fractions, 335/113th and 22/7 as the very close ratio and the approximate ratio, respectively. With the former one, the very close ratio named as Zu ratio by mathematicians to honor his contribution. His most famous written work is undoubtedly 赘述, a mathematical manual co-written with his son Zu Geng. It was made a standard textbook for the Imperial Academy in Tang Dynasty and was even used in Japan and Korea. He was also an astronomer. He compiled the Daming calendar, where he first introduced the idea of yearly difference, 岁差, put forward by East Jing astronomer Yu Xi. In the calendar, Zu Chongzhi gave a value of 27.21223035 days for the nodal month, which is only 0.00001514 days less than the actual length of 27.21221521, an error of just 1.308 seconds a day. At the same time, Zu Chongzhi also had brilliant achievements in machinery. He manufactured the southward pointing cart, which would always point to a direction, however it may turn, the Trinidad boat, which may travel 500 kilometers a day, and the hydraulic trip hammer grinding mill, which may husk rice and grind flour at the same time by using water power. In order to commemorate Zu Chongzhi's outstanding contribution to science and technology, the international astronomical community named a crater on the back of the moon as the crater of Zu Chongzhi. Just like Zu Chongzhi, many ancient Chinese scientists had expertise in many fields, and the next one we are going to introduce here is just another good example. Zhang Heng was an astronomer, mathematician, inventor, geographer, artist, poet, statesman, and literary scholar from Nanyang, Henan, and lived during the Eastern Han Dynasty of China. Zhang applied his extensive knowledge of mechanics and gears in several of his inventions. He invented the world's first water-powered armillary sphere to represent astronomical observation, and invented the world's first seismometer, Houfeng seismometer, which discerned the cardinal direction of an earthquake 500 kilometers away. It was not until more than 1,000 years later that a similar seismometer was made in ancient Persia. Furthermore, in addition to documenting about 2,500 stars in his extensive star catalog, Zhang also posited theories about the moon and its relationship to the sun. Specifically, he discussed the moon's sphericity, its illumination by reflecting sunlight on one side and remaining dark on the other, and the nature of solar and lunar eclipses. His Fu and Shi were renowned and commented on by later Chinese writers. Zhang received many posthumous honors for his scholarship and ingenuity, and is considered a polymath by some scholars. The next scientist is Shen Kuo. Shen Kuo was a polymathic ancient Chinese scientist and statesman of the Song dynasty, excelling in many fields of study and statecraft. He was a mathematician, astronomer, meteorologist, geologist, zoologist, botanist, pharmacologist, agronomist, archaeologist, ethnographer, cartographer, encyclopedist, general, diplomat, hydraulic engineer, inventor, academy chancellor, finance minister, governmental state inspector, poet, and musician. He was the head official for the Bureau of Astronomy in the Song court, as well as an assistant minister of Imperial Academy of Medicine. Shen wrote more than 20 books, of which the most famous one is undoubtedly Brush Talks from Dream Book or 梦溪笔谈. Written at around 1086 AD, the original book has 26 sections, covering topics in astronomy, geography, numerology, archaeology, crafts, and traditional Chinese medicine, etc. It summarizes the achievements in natural science of the ancient people, especially people in Song Dynasty, and details the contributions to science and technology made by the common or grassroots people. For example, in the book, Shen Kuo made the first description in the human history about the invention of the movable type printing by Bi Sheng. It was due to his account that Bi Sheng, an ordinary technician who made such a great invention, could get the credit he deserved. In Meng Xi Bi Tan, he made one of the first references in human history to artificial magnetized compass needles, which were common needles magnetized when they were wrapped with lodestone. He also described 4 ways of using compasses and considered the suspended compass as the best one to be used. Shen also gave the first account of petroleum and scientifically named it 石油 in Chinese. This name is still being used nowadays. Apart from the content on science and technology, this book also presents narratives on history, literature, music, and fine arts, making it an indispensable resource for studying science and culture of ancient China. This book enjoys high prestige at home and abroad, and is considered by Joseph Needham as a landmark in the history of science in China, and a type specimen of its genre. The next scientist we are going to talk about is Li Shizhen, a great medical scientist, natural historian, and pharmacologist, who flourished during the Ming Dynasty. He was born in a medical family, with his grandfather a traveling bell doctor, and his father once an official in the Imperial Academy of Medicine. Li Shizhen also worked as an imperial physician, but he resigned after only 1 year. He then spent the majority of his young adulthood treating local patients and traveling extensively in order to prepare for his medical works. After working on the book for 27 years and revising it for 3 times, he eventually completed the Compendium of Materia Medica in 52 volumes in 1578. It consists of 1,892 medicinals, including 374 newly added ones, over 1,000 illustrations, and 11,096 formulas. The Compendium of Materia Medica records medicinal substances with their name, production area, species, shapes, processing, nature, taste, action, and indication. In the book, Li divided medicinals into 16 parts based on natural properties, and categories are arranged under them ranging from inorganic to organic and from lower to higher, thus establishing a very advanced classification system in the world. It is not only an epoch-making monumental work on herbalism, but also an ancient encyclopedia, because it covers botany, zoology, astronomy, geography, geology, mineralogy, etc. After publication, the book has been translated into many languages such as English, French, German, Latin, Japanese, Russian, and Korean, etc. On the world arena, it displays the brilliance of the development of the traditional Chinese medical science. Alright, that's the end of today. Thank you very much.